1 p.m. on April the 9th, 2025. Approval of the agenda. Recommendation of the Committee of the Whole meeting agenda for April 9th, 2025 be approved as circulated. Councillor McCabe, Councillor Beach, Councillor Pam, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Adoption of the minutes. Recommendation of the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held on March 26, 2025 be adopted. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushel, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, we're going to go right into delegation. Community policing. Anita, are you? Thank you, Anita. You can come up to the podium, please. Thank you.
Hello.
You're alive.
So my name is Anita Blackman, and my husband and I live at 706 Chapman Crescent in Sycamoose.
That's a good spot.
Good afternoon, and thank you to our mayor and council for allowing me the time to speak today. I also want to thank all those in our beautiful community who share the same concerns and are supporting the reason why I'm here. I would first like to start by saying that my parents lived in Sycamoose for 28 years until their passing in 2022. Sycamoose has always been our kids until my husband and I moved here in 2015 and made Sycamoose our home as well. We love it here, natural beauty, and are all wonderful people. We are also blessed to live on a street where all of our neighbors care for and look out for one another. However, this is where I will begin to read a letter that I've written and will be submitting to our mayor and council today. As very concerned citizens and taxpayers of the district of Sycamoose, we the undersigned are writing to voice our frustration with the increasing number of attempted break-ins and thefts that are occurring during the night and in the early hours of the morning. Sycamoose was once a place where citizens could feel safe and secure, and it certainly doesn't feel that way anymore. We are aware that with the current catch and release laws, homelessness, and addiction issues, this has become a problem in many communities around the province and in the whole country. Those who choose to be criminals are taking advantage of this, knowing there are little to no consequence or accountability for their crimes. Furthermore, it is evident that these criminals are aware now that Sycamoose has no police presence, patrolling our town and streets between the hours of 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. It is also evident that the scoundrels committing these crimes are not shied away by any surveillance monitors or cameras and alarms that many homes in our community have been equipped with, and that fact in itself is scary. It is simply unacceptable that we have come to a point in our society where citizens should be constantly worrying about our personal property, personal safety because of a decided lack of police protection, especially during night hours when crime has become more rampant. Sycamoose is also home to a large population of seniors who for the most part can't defend themselves. Very sad to think that if this is not addressed, crime could potentially evolve to a point where serious harm may eventually come to an innocent individual. This needs to be remedied quickly before that could ever happen. We believe there is a simple and sensible solution that could help to at least reduce crime during the night in Sycamoose without substantially affecting the budget allocated for the police services. As well, it shouldn't substantially increase the amount of the annual property tax bill to the taxpayer. We understand that there are normally 6 patrol units working daily from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. in Sycamoose. We are currently down to 5 units as 1 officer is away on medical leave. All officers come from Salmon Arm, so in the event of an emergency call between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m., the on-call officer has to drive to Sycamoose from Salmon Arm. And now with the current Broome Bridge construction night shift closures in effect as well, it may add to the officer's arrival time. For our safety and security, we are requesting to have at least 1 of the 5 units be in Sycamoose on a night shift patrol, or to create a swing shift schedule among all the patrols. Sycamoose is small enough to be efficiently monitored by 1 patrol vehicle throughout the night, and it's become clear we need it now. In closing, we ask that this matter be addressed seriously and that a decision to a solution be made quickly. We believe that 24/7 police presence will help to prevent and quite possibly deter criminal activity from entering our town and properties in the middle of the night, thus bringing back a sense of the deserved safety and security for the residents of Sycamoose once again. So far, I've compiled several letters, copies of this letter with a total of 93 signatures by concerned citizens who live and work in Sicamous. There are more signed copies of this letter to follow that I'll be dropping off to our CAO, Dean Strachan, the mayor and council later this afternoon. I would also like to quickly add that the residents that I've talked to are asking why we no longer have any RCMP officers who reside here in Sicamous. Would this not make the most sense to resolve this whole issue? Please know that we do support and appreciate the RCMP. We are looking to our mayor and council to provide the RCMP with more support and coverage so that Sicamous can have the 24/7 police presence. Thank you for your time, and I do look forward to a response within 30 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anita. Anita, do you want to stay up there? Council, does anyone have any questions for Anita? Councilor Evans.
Thank you for bringing the letter. It's nothing like a piece of paper to show us that we really mean business. You're saying everything that we're all worried about right now. And I really appreciate the time and the effort you put into this, Anita.
Councilor Rich.
Through the chair, and again, thank you, and 93 signatures, that's impressive, and I think we need to listen to what the public is saying. And we need to work with our RCMP to make sure, I believe that deterrent is, I think having the police out in our community, not that they're gonna stop a crime in action, but that if people realize that there are police presence 24/7 in Sicamous, that it may deter people from using us as that drop point or becoming a crime point. So I really appreciate you coming out today and bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
Councilor McCabe.
Yeah, thank you through the chair and thank you for your presentation. I agree 100% with what you're saying. We have talked to our staff sergeant on more than one occasion, Sergeant Neil McMurray. He says it's a matter of resources, but I think the more the public comes forward, letters and petitions, if you will, that'll help our case for them to allocate more resources so they can have a patrol or a swing shift or a split shift or something for presence in the evening.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I would have gotten more signatures, but we've been in and out of town. And I do anticipate quite a few more this afternoon on the other letters. I'll hand it.
Councilor Beach.
Through the chair, yes, and I just want to thank you for bringing this forward. As a community, it's imperative that you keep collecting those signatures and keep speaking out about this because we are all concerned and it is definitely an issue to be dealt with. We've done, there are different ways we have to sort of make this noise and make it official on letter. So your signatures will be important. The other thing that we have done some in the past, but not this winter, we've done some public education around the risks of addiction and all of those things. And I'm Councillor Rich and myself, not on behalf of council, but out of personal interest, would love to do more community education so that people can be more alert, know what they're looking for in their own children, in their own family, and in their neighbors. I think that knowing and being able to prevent these things from happening just because you can alert somebody and say, I'm worried about this is suspicious. So I just want to encourage you to keep, we'll keep working on it. We really do we have the same fears and we're going to work on it.
And the people I've talked to, they're all very anxious.
Yes.
That we've had on our own street in 6 months, incidents were just too close.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of seniors on the street, I worry about them.
Councilor Bushel.
Yeah, through the chair, thank you, Anita. Really appreciate it. We're just as frustrated as you are. We've been down this road with the ministry before. We advocate at UBCM every time. We met with Mike Farnworth last UBCM. Asked for more staffing, just like your letter says, and we've talked about residents, policemen being in our community like they were years ago.
Years ago.
And but unfortunately, sometimes it falls on deaf ears, and your letter with more signatures will help for sure, and we'll put it on our agenda again with you for UBCM as well.
Thank you, Anita. And just as an update to that, we did meet with, at UBCM with the Solicitor General last fall. And just last week, I've heard back from them. And I have staff trying to set up a meeting right now with the BCR CMP Service Delivery Unit. So they have heard us. So they're willing to sit down and chat with us. So that is great. The district will, of course, have a conversation with Sergeant O'Neill and make sure that he is aware of our concerns again, because this is an issue for us. And I'd also like to take it a step further and just to Pam's point, education, not so much on drug education for our seniors, but I'd really like to spend some time with the seniors so that they understand that not everyone is a friendly soul, and not everyone, they're trusting, you know, they grew up in a time when you could trust your neighbor, where you could, and now we need to teach them to be a little bit more aware and not so trusting. So I think that's a key component as far as education goes. And I think Marie and his team can assist with that as well.
It is.
So thank you very much
Thank you.
for being here today and the letter.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Anita. Okay, moving along. We have the Sycamoose Community Banner Project. Tammy, do you want to come up and?
Be quiet. Oh. Hello, everybody. Hello, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you guys on behalf of Eagle Valley Arts Council and our Sycamoose Community Banner Project.
They're very excited about your
Are you guys?
presentation. Sitting on the edges of their seats.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here on behalf of the Eagle Valley Arts Council and the Sycamoose Community Banner Project. I believe this is the 26th year, 25th year. We are here today to again request the full use of Main Street light standards for hanging our community banners that as we have in the past. Or to, in the very least, explore a shared use approach, either staggering the banners with the town's branding or extending our banners further up the street towards the Legion. Our community has been developing a strong arts district using banners and public arts to showcase our culture, history, and identity. The hand-painted banners created by local artists are deeply meaningful and visually stunning. And I don't know, I saw a lot of you had to sprint in here to get to your meeting. I don't know if you had the chance to look at just the small sample that's out in the lobby, but it gives me goosebumps to say that the Red Barn is full of just amazing art, and that's just a small sample. Since the change in banner usage, we've received constant questions from both resident and seasonal visitors about when our hand-painted banners will return to Main Street. Interest has been overwhelming, with people expressing how much they miss them, seeing them, and how they brought a unique, welcoming feel to our downtown core. This continuous feedback highlights how much these banners mean to our community and the sense of identity that it creates for Sycamoose. This year, we've had an incredible surge in participation, particularly around our Truth and Reconciliation theme. The banners created this year are powerful representations of our healing culture and a community and they deserve to be displayed prominently. The area in front of the Healing Center is especially meaningful, reinforcing the meaning and messages of unity and reflection on the space that it represents. We recognize the value of our town's Sycamoose Live More branding, and we propose the following options. We could relocate all of the Main Street for our community banners as been done in the past. We could stagger banners, alternating them between town branding and community banners. And if we could extend our banners up to the Legion, that would ensure more visibility while still allowing all the town branding in the key areas. To further support town branding, we would gladly display some of your branded banners inside of our Red Barn to show support for our community. Community benefits would be increased visibility for our local arts, showcasing meaningful hand-painted works The commitment that we've given to a truth and reconciliation within our community, providing space for Indigenous voices and storytelling. Responding to public demand, meeting ongoing community requests for the banners returns. And balanced streetscape, merging town branding with authentic community-driven art. And collaboration, strengthening partners between town and local art initiatives. Not only this initiative, but we're working with the visitor and the Chamber of Commerce, which I sit on. But we're all trying to work collaboratively to bring their first impression when you come into town. We know Sicamous is a great place to live, and we want people to know what a great thriving arts community we have. It's a great opportunity to enhance our community identity and create a vibrant, meaningful streetscape. The community has made it clear that they miss and value these banners, and we would love to work with the town to bring them back in a way that benefits everyone. So I thank you for your time, and thank you for letting me speak to you today.
Thank you, Tammy.
Brenny, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
I see, not a lot to add, but anyway. Like, my name is Frey Giri. I'm the last Mohican of that project as a volunteer, my 25th years. And I have to say, like this year, I'm really disappointed about not to be supported by the community, by the district, by you guys. Because it's one of the really, I would say, the best year. We have even 40 banners. I would have even more. I did not order enough material. But I really would like to ask why. Like I said, I'm for 25 years in it. I started it with Vicky. She gave up. She's still, in my mind, a part of it. But I keep on going. Why was it? And Colleen, you said to me, you can explain why. About 2-3 years ago, all of a sudden, the council decided, without talking to us, our banners not to have on Main Street anymore. For 23 years, that was never an issue. We worked together with the district without any, absolutely no problem. You know, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting these emails from all my painters. Do you know you're only allowed like 10 banners and all this stuff? So then I said, okay, we do the best we can. We did, but now I think we choose our native art team this year, you know, because of the new healing center we will have, the opening, the whole spirit around that area is into this native art. So I really hope that we are able to put our banners on Main Street again, because you cannot imagine how many people, I'm not only talking about my painters here, local people, my guests, I have a little guest operation. Everybody is just disappointed that this was not happening anymore. I'm getting phone calls from Revelstoke, from Penticton to ask me for some help, how they could do the same thing again if they would have enough volunteers. This is also a problem, like you see here in Sicamous, not enough volunteers. But I tell you, we will hang in because I see people appreciate it. And I think I don't see what is really the problem, why you guys changed your mind without even talking to us. And now we have this mishy-mashy thing on Main Street, and nobody can say that this looks better. And because it's a really special year this year, I have a vision how our Main Street will look with maybe 30 banners here and maybe the 10 on the riverside, because last year, finally, we got some new frames there. It looked nice. So, and it would be exactly the corner around Riverside and Main Street in front of that healing center. And I really hope you agree with me or explain it to me why, what is the issue? You just mentioned to me, Colleen, you know why.
Yeah, absolutely, I do. We, as council a couple years ago, or I can't remember how many years ago, we needed to find a balance. We spent a lot of money on our Sicamous branding. Thousands and thousands of dollars. So we wanted to display our Sycamoose branding as well. So perhaps there is a happy medium somewhere, but I think that at that point in time, and I can't remember the details, I can go, I can get the girls to dig up the minutes, but I don't remember the details, but I think was a shared, or there was a plan that we had put together last year, I think with the banner folks, or the year before, so, perhaps there's another opportunity this year. Maybe Daryl and I can sit down with you guys and figure it out. But we do need to still display our Sycamoose branding because it does. Yeah, but maybe there is moving forward a happy medium that we can share. But that was why, because we spent thousands of dollars
I
on.
mean, I understood. I didn't understand the first year and nobody talked to us. I almost have to say to me, I just got it from over Facebook or from some my painters who were really
Mhm.
disappointed. And then of course, we knew that must be the reason. I was a part of the new branding thing as well. So I understood, but I just had the feeling, how does it look on Main Street to have this, I repeat, wishy-washy thing there, and almost everybody agrees with me. I know all of them here. I know
We can-
people from out of town. They said, what is that? Why are you not allowed to have your banners on Main Street? So this,
Go ahead, Daryl.
If I could make a suggestion,
yeah,
because I think it was last year, we came up with a plan, it was gonna be the art walk down Riverside, down
Yeah.
Peninsula.
Yeah.
And I think that worked fairly well for you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
So what I'm hearing is that, you've got a few other options where you'd like to extend that. So why don't we take it offline, we'll meet, and maybe I can brief council on some options.
Sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, our vision is clearly with 40 banners now, 10 more. And we would have had more. I tell you, people were so into it. At least around the new healing center, who will be open in the summer or whatever, I mean, it's a community project.
Mhm.
We really want to work with everybody. And we always did without any problem. And one of a sudden, what was that? And we were really disappointed. I mean, I was very disappointed, but I'm the one who's still hanging in, especially for my artists, because everybody was just shaking their head and asking, what?
And it's like new life has been breathed into it, right? With it.
Yeah, it's all.
Absolutely. No, and I think that's fair that Daryl can take it and
Yeah.
work with you. I just have some counselor comments. Counselor
Yeah, thank-
and Counselor Beach.
Yeah, thank you,
Counselor
Susan.
Rich, please.
Thank you through the chair. Just a quick comment. I support alternating banners on Main. Street.
Yeah.
Counselor Beach. Chair.
I do too. Like, I think that we can come to an agreement where the branding banner can have some visibility, but not every spot, and we'll just work together to get them everywhere.
Yeah.
Keep making them.
Yes.
Increase your numbers.
Yes, and it's getting better.
Thank you.
The more we.
Yeah.
more time we're
I
gonna-
want them out in the highway all the way along.
I mean, I remember years when we had.
Businesses that
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
On their businesses.
Yeah.
And have offered something
Yeah.
out.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's coming.
My thinking is after all those years, that's why I know you guys in person, is your wife, your brand, you Colleen, you painted all the time, Pam, you were a part of it, so I could not really understand why are you not standing up for this?
Sometimes you have to wear two hats, though.
Yes, I
There's
know.
two sides to every story, so, yeah,
There are
thank you.
much bigger problems in this little town in our little project, but when I see, all these people, and
Yeah.
many more.
That's awesome.
Are behind us, and then we should keep on going, and we will,
Okay,
we will.
that sounds great. Counselor Rich?
Through the chair, I just want to thank you guys I've been in this town for more than 25 years. And I love the banners and I see the growth at the Red Barn and how much you guys are doing with the Arts Council and that you're involving the kids and the seniors and just middle-aged people like me. And I just thank you for championing that and keeping it going. And I just really think we can all work together and figure something out, but just huge appreciation for what you're doing for our community and how it's all inclusive. It's been phenomenal.
Okay, Counselor Bushel?
Yeah, thank you, Franny, for coming forward. I mean, there is, like I say, there is A couple of years ago, we agreed on or however it came, we agreed on an art walk and everything. We thought that was fine, but I agree 100% with the medical center opening this year. It'd be nice to have a good presence on Main Street for sure.
Thank you.
Counselor,
I forgot to ask one question. Are you guys doing a QR code this year? So that we can, so as people do the art walk, they can actually find out what's going on or not yet?
Well,
That's not in our hands, I guess. We're
we
looking
could,
at that.
I've had really two-sided feedback. I've heard lots of spam comes with the QR code, so I haven't figured that out yet, but that's something, that's something that we could, because if we're gonna do the art walk, it'd be nice to have those codes.
Absolutely.
And we can work on that for sure.
Yeah, so people can get the
Because
information.
everybody does have that in the pocket now.
You betcha.
I seem to do it and then get 35 other spams and 45 calls.
yeah.
It's just weird the way that some of the spammers will pick up on some of those QR codes. They certainly reach more than the problems they cause.
So thank you guys very much. I do appreciate it. And Franny, you know that I love painting my back in Victoria. I just, I haven't been able to fit it in last couple of years.
Maybe special allowance and we'll have a special night painting just for the council.
That would be great. That would be great. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for all that you do for the community. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving along, we are going to move to Fire Smart update. Travis. You have the floor. We're sitting on the edges of our seats right now.
Yes. Me too. Okay, good afternoon, or afternoon, yes, Mayor, Council, and District Management. For those who don't know, my name is Travis Lansing. I'm the Fire Smart Coordinator for Sickmoose. Today we'll be giving a recap of our Fire Smart efforts in 2024 and outlining the game plan for 2025. The goal is to show where we've made progress, what we've learned, and how we plan to continue strengthening our wildfire resilience for our community going forward. So Sickmoose had a strong year in 2024. While we completed fewer home assessments compared to previous years, this was actually due to a shift to a higher level of more in-depth assessment process through the program Wildfire Mitigation Specialist. It's a higher level certification. It takes longer to achieve, but it gives us quite a bit better of an assessment. So beyond assessments, we did remain active in the community. We set up booths at Canada Day, BC Day, the farmers market, as well as ASKUs. Our curbside yard pickup continued, helping residents remove flammable yard waste. And we're also fortunate to have a strong financial support through the CRI grant of $200,000. That does carry through to 2025. Funds our program and initiatives. One of the most important aspects of Fire Smart is education and community engagement. So like I mentioned, in 2024, we did participate in key events such as Canada Day, BC Day, Farmers Market, and a booth over at ASKUs. You likely saw us out there. Maybe you saw Ember. One of our firefighters was dancing, I remember. I believe I was away on deployment, but it looked just a glance. We found that one-on-one conversations remain the most effective way to educate homeowners about wildfire risk. Though this approach obviously can be difficult to scale. So moving forward, we'll continue to look for ways to balance that a broad outreach while still trying to engage directly wherever we can. Mitigation work being another core pillar of Fire Smart. We continued offering curbside yard waste, like I mentioned, pickup for all residents, and will be increasing our efforts to promote this service in 2025. I would say the biggest change this year for the Fire Smart program is that our development of the Community Wildfire Resiliency Plan, or CWRP. The plan being developed in partnership with Foresight. They have an office in Seminar. They will be helping us identify Sycamoos's highest wildfire risk and guide future mitigation work. Once the plan is complete by the end of the year, we'll be exploring funding options for larger scale fuel reduction projects. So as I mentioned earlier, one of our biggest shifts in 2024 was the move to the wildfire mitigation specialist assessment. While these assessments do take longer to complete, they do provide homeowners with a much more detailed and personalized recommendation for wildfire reduction and risk removal. Another actual benefit of the program is that certain home insurance companies such as BCAA offer discounts to homeowners that complete the assessments and do mitigation work. It's another way that FireSmart doesn't just improve safety, but it actually does provide financial incentive and benefits for the residents. Continuing into 2025, we have several key priorities. We'll be expanding our WMS certification to more staff members. This will allow us to complete more assessments and reduce the scheduling challenges of just maybe one or two people having it. I actually just got signed up for a course at the end of April in Lake Country to become a trainer for this program. So then as we continue to hire each year for FireSmart crew or other fire department members that look to wanting to get the certification, then I can provide that. We'll be launching the Sycamoos Plan program. I'm currently partnered with Parkland Home Building Center as well as Askews Foods. So it's just a great place to educate folks where they're going to be buying landscape material and plants, and trees, and like that. I find the approach to be a bit more subtle when in comparison to setting up a booth or talking to people one-on-one. I find a certain aspect of a kind of salesiness to this role, and I think if you're kind of just having information put out where you're buying a plant, then I think it can be very effective. We're also excited to be working with the district's planning department to incorporate FireSmart principles into new developments. So in my mind, going forward, there's no real reason why anything built in Sycamoos shouldn't have FireSmart in mind. And finally, just the completion of the CWRP at the end of the year will be a major milestone, and it will give us a clear roadmap for targeting wildfire risk reduction. Okay, so as you're aware, FireSmart operates entirely on funding from the CRI, and we're fortunate to have that $200K for this year. I would say the biggest investment areas would be one, training and education. So FireSmart is constantly evolving, and continued learning allows us to stay ahead. This includes expanding our WMS training, improving homeowner education, and strengthening our public outreach. Number two would be mitigation work. So our crew, which will be hired shortly here this year, will be actively working on mitigation projects starting in the summer, helping individual property owners reduce their wildfire risk. While the CWRP is more large scale, the team will immediately start working on kind of homeowner level mitigation and smaller projects to make a direct impact. And thirdly, the research and planning. So the CWRP will guide future mitigation strategies, helping us assess higher risk areas and identify funding opportunities for larger scale projects for fuel removal and such. So this year we'll be gathering data, assessing risk, and preparing for broader mitigation efforts. So the support of the council has been instrumental in growing the FireSmart's reach, and I want to take a moment to thank you all. Thank you. One of the biggest ways you can continue to support Fire Smart in Sigmoose is simply by helping spread awareness. Just encouraging residents to book assessments, participate in the yard waste pickup, and consider Fire Smart principles when making landscaping or building decisions. This will contribute to our community's wildfire resilience. And then also, I just want to extend an open invitation to any of you, but if you do have any questions regarding Fire Smart, then I'm really happy to speak at the time. So, yeah. And that concludes it. So thank you for your time and continued support for Fire Smart, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Travis. Counselor Rich.
Through the chair. Again, thank you, Travis, for what you guys are doing and the whole team and keeping our community safe. I want to also say thank you that you hire students and put them through the Fire Smart. And we've got several students that have worked with you for years that are now in university and college. So I super appreciate that. So I've got 3 questions. One is I was driving down Shuswap this morning at about 6 a.m. And we've got a couple houses there. It's called California landscaping. So where you just put rocks in pretty much. Do we, or is there a way, Bianca's gonna kill me right now, that we could work with the district that we help people that maybe when you're building or renovating or you get money, you know, that there's a tax break at some point that if instead of putting grass, because that's going to help on our water and it's going to help you guys, that we encourage people to put rocks, like do these nice rock garden landscaping things. Is that anything you've approached?
Yeah, I mean, that is one way to approach Fire Smart, reducing kind of green and go towards more of like rock features and whatnot. We have done rebates in the past, and typically how I've kind of seen it work best is nearing the end of the summer after I've kind of, you know, where my budget falls. Potentially offering more rebate options to homeowners at nearing the end of the summer, if that funding is available. So yes, if a homeowner is looking to Fire Smart in that way, I can come over and do an assessment, and if that's kind of the direction they want to go, then we can basically lay out a plan. What's the cost? How long will this take? And then.
Yeah, because I just really think with our new builds, it might be a really good thing, just as things, you know, and water gets more scarce and fires are happening more. It might be something that we can really push for, that again, council could work or the town could work, that we push people towards kind of having that little rocky front instead of having a green space with sprinklers and water and all the high maintenance of trying to keep a green lawn. Okay, question number 2. When are you guys starting up this year?
Sorry?
When are you guys starting up this year?
For the crew?
Yeah.
Mid-June is when they'll be hired.
And question number 3 is the bubble pit. I am not giving up.
Yeah. Well, I know we did it. We missed it last year, unfortunately, but the previous year we did get it out, and it was definitely a hit. I'd love to see it out again. The big thing is the pit does require maintenance on it definitely does right now anyway. So it would just be a matter of getting it back up and running and having enough fire department members to kind of run it for an event.
Because we would love to see it out. Like you guys were at the elementary school, you were at the high school, you were at Canada Day. And again, it's a good way to suck people in while the kids play. You've got all the parents standing there. So I miss it and I'm not giving up on it. I want to see the bubble pits.
Fire officers.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Counselor Bushnell.
Through the chair, thank you. Yeah, Travis, great presentation. Do we have any mapping of some of the mitigation work that's already been done and the location of it? Do we have mapping for that too?
Yeah,
Oh,
we do.
okay.
I don't have it readily available.
Yeah, but if I did call, I could take a look at it.
Sure.
Yeah, I just noticed there's a fair amount of beetle kill over in Old Town Bay and also behind Bayview, more towards like where, just above Ron and Artis's place. There's a big track of beetle kill in there.
Yeah.
And I know that's Crown land. I would.
Yeah, those areas in particular are definitely kind of come up when talking about mitigation. And I think we want to kind of wait for the CWRP to go through for them to determine like what is the highest risk and where to put our money the most efficiently anyway.
That's great. Thank you. And then when you're talking about the foam pit, do we have a dunk tank?
I wish. That'd be great.
We have.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Beach, please.
Yeah, through the chair. Yeah, Travis, I'm thinking about the, forest, urban interface and how much, I know it would be Wildfire BC. Would you be working with a provincial group where people are out on the edge of the forest? I mean, we have that all around us, right? So.
As far as mitigation work or?
Yeah, mitigation work and that kind of thing. So is that something that's happening? Is that something that we need to
Yeah,
speak
so.
loudly about when we go to
Absolutely.
Union of BC municipalities? Yeah.
Yeah, no, if we can, we'll definitely be working with the province on, like, because there's different areas of crown land and whatnot that we don't.
Yeah.
Work with them on, but if there's a wildfire there, we're right here, right? So we're the ones impacted the most by it.
Absolutely.
So that's where something like the CWRP will kind of identify, and then it'll give us recommendations on the type of mitigation work to do and best way to move forward.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have time for gallery questions after the council meeting. Thank you. Council, anyone else? Okay, thanks, Travis. Appreciate it. Okay, moving right along.
Oh, very risky.
Recreation update, Jamie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Through the chair, thank you for having me report our spring update. I'm going to touch a little bit on our fall programs, our winter programs, our spring programs, and what we're planning on for summer for this year. So first off, this picture is one of the new programs we implemented this year. This is our local music teacher, Morgan Tudon, an amazing music teacher. A couple of our kids that are in there, they quite enjoyed it. Some picked up the second time, some picked up private lessons with them. So win, loss, we'll take both sides of it. At the end of the day, kids are getting music lessons and that's what we're striving to do. So next page, please, Bianca. Thank you. So this year was the first year in 7 years, I believe it was, that we were not running an after school program. So this was a little bit challenging for us because we weren't quite sure what we were going to do and how our programs were going to be affected by this. A lot of the kids that were in our after school program either moved on to the daycare or they found other ways to be looked after. So it did kind of conflict a little bit with the programs that we were offering, dates, times, things like that. Additionally, we've seen the growth of minor hockey and the return of our Girl Guides, which is great for our community. I am not going to be upset about that whatsoever. That's what we're all about. But it did hinder in some of the programs that we were trying to run. So it's back to the drawing board once again. On a positive note, all of our drop-in programs and our one-day programs continue to be successful. So we're really happy and we'll continue running with our pickleball. We'll continue running with our things like our paddle courses and things like that. But despite any of the challenges that we have, you guys know me, I never give up and I'll just throw more spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So next slide is just touching a bit on our winter events. Of course, our Christmas light up each and every year. This event is getting bigger and bigger. The lights are getting better. More people are joining it. Our crowds are getting bigger. So I'm really excited. That is next to Canada Day, probably my favorite event of the entire year. The CKRP is hard for me to get that out. So you saying CPR, holiday train, even though it was on a Tuesday this year, we still had great crowds. So that made me really excited to see that that was happening. And of course, it's a great thing to have in our community because it helps our local food bank so much. And then our Family Day event that we had, thank you to the Arts Council. We've been partnering with them for quite a few things, our Halloween event and our Family Day event. So this year, even though it's not the greatest picture, we had close to 40 people come out to our original Muppet movie day that we had. Lots of cotton candy with juice boxes and popcorn were all over the hall that day, but people had a good time, and it was actually, for some of us adults, I think we had more fun because we actually forgot how funny the Muppet movie was, and going like, oh, I forgot Steve Martin was in this type of thing. So it was kind of fun for us folks who were actually there at the event, having a good time, and, you know, laughing at some of the jokes that were, the kids were like, I don't get it, that was okay, because they didn't need to understand it, So moving forward, onto our spring programs. This is probably one of the most exciting programs that I am thrilled to be a part of. It took us nearly a year, but we were able to get a para hockey program going in our community. So as you can see there in the pictures, we not only have able-bodied kids, but also kids with disabilities. We have kids from the ages of 10 to kids of the ages of 67 participating in our programs. For some of these folks here, there's one lady who's in our community. She has MS. She was an avid hockey player. She missed ice. She missed playing hockey. Nervous as nervous could be to be able to get out on the ice. And she was so nervous getting in the sled. And if you would have been there the first day to see the smile, it was 10,000 miles long. She was just so excited, so happy. She come off the ice and she goes, Jamie, you have no idea how good it was to smell the ice again. So that to me is a huge, huge success. We also had another gentleman who's actually coming to our program all the way from Kamloops. This is a gentleman who lost his legs due to a motorcycle accident. Couldn't have done this without Jackie Call, couldn't have done this without Danielle bringing this to us. This gentleman here was struggling with mental health. His prosthologist, I probably butchered that, reached out to Jackie because Jackie has been championing this program all the way along. This gave him a new sense of purpose. He is now out on the ice every weekend with us, and his goal now is to make it to the Olympics in para hockey. To me, enough said, that's all the things that we need in order for us to move on with this. So working with Sportability BC, we were able to get a grant for $5,000. This covers our training costs. This covers some of our sled costs. This covers our ice costs. We ended up with 13 participants taking place in this this 5-week program that we have. We were able to manage to get sleds donated to us through various things, as well as from BC Hockey and some private donators. But we are going to be needing some new sleds in order to make this a program moving forward. And each one of these sleds, just the sleds themselves, are $1,000 a piece. So we'll be reaching out probably to the Legion, you know, community futures, community foundations, things like that. Just so we can get at least enough sleds to house our own of 10 sleds, so we can keep a program running in the fall. Our goal is to have an up and running program altogether that we can run for 12 weeks in the fall, 10 weeks in the spring. Keep this going. We have folks that are coming all the way from Enderby, Kamloops, as well as our own local mix. So we are the only adaptable program within the Shuswap region. So we need to really pat ourselves on the back by making this happen. The closest programs to us is either Kelowna or Kamloops. And through this work that we've done, Jackie and myself have been asked to sit on the BC Para Hockey working group in order to increase the awareness of para hockey. And our aim is to actually hold provincials here in 2027 at our local arena. So kudos to all you guys for, you know, always letting me dream big and reach out for the craziest things that are out there. So our other spring programs that we have going forward, because like I said, the minor hockey is big, so is our minor ball program. So we've shifted a little bit. We're going to focus on our tots, like I spoke about before. So we have our program set up for our new learn to play soccer and our learn to play softball. And we're going to cater those programs from ages 3 to 6. As it sits as of today, our learn to play soccer is capped out at 10 kids, with 5 kids sitting on a wait list. So note to self, next year we need to increase that. And then our learn to play softball is also capped out at 10 kids. I think our learn to play soccer program is something that we can actually integrate into the winter and utilize the gyms for that program, and maybe look into a basketball or things like that. So those are some of the things that we're working on. We're continuing our regular drop-in programs. So our yoga classes, our family gym night, and our pickleball has gotten so expansive, which is great. We dropped our basketball because we weren't getting the numbers. We've now increased our pickleball to 3 nights a week. What we've done is we've turned our Tuesday night into what we call an advanced class. This night here is for those who are avid pickleballers. They want to be competitive. They want to be able to go out and hit the ball and stuff. And then they have to pre-register that day. So registration opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's 16 spaces dedicated strictly to them. Once that 16 spaces is done, we're capped out, nobody else can arrive. If there are spaces left available, Danielle graciously says, yeah, come on in and join us because we're never going to turn anybody away. But this makes sure that those avid pickleballers get that time that they're wanting. Because on some nights when we have our Wednesdays and Thursdays where it's a social night, we get up to 24 people and they're finding that they're sitting too long. And you know, those that are really keeners, they really want to go. So that's why we kind of made the changes that we did for that. Our PAL course, his arts are tried and true, steady. I had 16 people in our last PAL course that we just ran. I already have 7 already registered for our next one taking place in June. So tried some things with food safe courses, first aid courses. I find we're not finding the right niche yet. We're cost prohibitive. It's hard to bring an instructor here, keep the prices low, especially with things like food safe and stuff. Now they've made it so you can take it online. You can renew online for $50. So we're going to see if we can come up with some other type of programs and workshops that we can bring into the community at a later date. So moving on to our upcoming events. Next weekend is our annual Easter egg hunt. As of right now, I just checked my phone. We're up to 85 kids already registered. We'll keep registration open until next Wednesday. Doesn't mean if a kid isn't registered and they show up, it doesn't mean they're not going to get any eggs. It's just help us for our planning purposes and to get folks in the community aware that, you know, it takes a lot of time to plan. So help us out by registering for our event. The Backyard Ultra is coming up at the end of April, so the Saturday after that. Kara has 100 athletes already registered for this event. They anticipate this event this year to go over 40 hours. And for those who in the gallery who are not aware of what the Backyard Ultra is, this is an endurance race. The racers will run one lap, 6.47 miles there, I believe it is, something like that. Yeah, every hour on the hour until somebody completes the full circuit and they're the last man standing. So last year's race went for 32 hours. So this means this person ran this track 32 times and only got to sleep in those small intervals in between. They're nuts. I would never do it. But the really exciting piece about this, and this is where I get excited, is that next year we've actually been deemed a national championship. So next October, we will play host to the national qualifying, and this person who wins this punches their ticket to go over to Europe to participate. So we're starting to get our name on the map as places to come in and to bring your events here. And Daryl and I love it when Kara comes because we do nothing. She comes in, she sets up, she may borrow a few tables and things from us. Other than that, she doesn't need anything from us. And Madam Mayor, she is asking if you can once again present, and she's scripted you with a little script that I will pass on as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
The last one there is Carly's event, which we're super excited for, which is our pump track qualifier, which is taking place on June the 7th. I just actually left a meeting with Carly. They're still waiting for their website to be updated for registration, but we're anticipating this event to sell out once again. Fun. All right, and I will say that we also have 4 ball tournaments taking place this spring as well, starting May 2nd, May 20, the weekend after May long weekend, and we have 2 in June. So there's lots of activities taking place in the spring, and we're really starting to get known for this is where you want to have an event. So we're excited about that. So moving forward, we're working on planning for summer. So a little bit of feedback that I've gotten over the years. The way that we run our swim lessons, we've been running them the same way, I think, since Councillor Beach has been running them with sports and leisures years and years ago. We run our swim lessons for 2-week intervals at the same time every day for 2 weeks. It's not working for a lot of working families anymore. So what we're trying to do now is we've got a survey out that is live, and we're asking parents, hey, does this scenario work for you? Would you like to see maybe twice a week, you know, for 4 weeks at a time? Would an evening class work for you? Would a weekend class work for you? So then what we're going to do is compile all that information and then try to come up with a schedule that would work best. Because what we're trying to do is pass on this very important life-saving skill onto as many children as we possibly can. And if we can get more kids through and get their swim lessons, that's what we're striving to do. We've got this big, beautiful lake out here and kids need to know how to swim if they're gonna be accessing it. Going on to our Summer Kids Club program, we did some experimentation last year, working with the program. We gotta make some more tweaks as we always know. So last year we tried doing the split age group. We found that once the kids hit 10 o'clock or the age of 10, they don't want to be in kids camp anymore. They're independent, it's lame, they don't want to come anymore. So we're gonna look at moving this back to ages 6 to 10. The 2-hour window doesn't work for most parents. That doesn't even give them, especially now with the bridge being closed, enough time for them to run the seminar for a doctor's appointment or things like that. So we're gonna move back to the 9 to 3, not a full day, but at least a good chunk of the day. We're gonna maintain our weekly themes because the kids really like that. It helps them pick. But we are gonna go back to the flexibility of a day pass where you can buy a day pass, you can buy a 5-day pass or a 10-day pass. Because there's some parents who just need care maybe 1 day a week. And so this gives them the flexibility opposed to having to sign up for the full week for them to have their kids in. Most kids signed up for the full week, so I don't foresee that being it. But if it's a difference of having 3 kids 1 day and having 6 kids because they have the flexibility, I'd rather see 6 kids in the program and make it worth the time and effort that we're putting into the program. Our camps are gonna start July and they're gonna end the last week of the week. So here's my big announcement for everybody. Canada Day, we are bringing back the road hockey tournament. Every year since I canceled the road hockey tournament, everybody has begged for the road hockey tournament to come back. We are gonna change it up a little bit, but for the most part, we're gonna leave it the way it is. The biggest piece that I will need, and this is a part of the meeting that I just had, is we'll be looking for referees. We are willing to pay for referees. So if you have teenagers or you have some people who've got some time that were willing to come out and ref a few games for us for Canada Day, please come send them my way. We are also going to be naming this year's event the Sycamoose Canada Day Block Party. Why are we doing this? Because we're going to move Canada Day down to Main Street. And we're going to move Canada Day back because at the beach park, limited access, limited trains, we've got everything else. And this is what the community wants. They want the vibrancy downtown. We want to bring these people downtown. We want to pump into the businesses, pump into the restaurants. So this is what we're going to do again for this year. So keeping that in mind, we also don't want to hurt our local businesses. So we've been pretty meticulous of coming up with a plan. Y'all go next page, if you don't mind. And this is how we're going to set up the main street for our Canada Day event. So basically the crosswalk that goes right in front of the Narrows, and we're going to close it right down to the traffic circle. So businesses will still have full access to their storefronts in front of this area here. We are just going to run with 3 road hockey rinks. So that's a small change because we're going to not go full out with teams. We don't foresee it as well because it is a Tuesday for this year. So Canada Day is not like a Friday or a Monday. The little green section you see up there in front of the medical building, that'll be a street party thing where we'll be having sidewalk chalk for kids. We're gonna have all of our yard games out there, our Connect Four, or all that type of stuff. So it's a nice area for families just to go out and play. And then we'll be working with the curling club again, let them have the beverage gardens, and we're gonna set the stage up in the grass area in front of the healing center. Beverage gardens underneath the trees, so that way it's nice and shady, covered. And then what we're planning on doing is calling what we're gonna call is the Sycamore Showcase, where we're gonna be reaching out to the local bands to say, here's the stage, come fill it for us. I'm talking with the high school right now to see if I can get their jazz band and their drum line to come up. I'm working with Morgan, our local music teacher, about having some of his kids come up and participate, and then featuring our local bands that we hear in town and have them fill the stage and just have great music. And of course, that complements the Arts Council with their art show and their children's festival that they have. And then just around the corner will be the seniors pancake breakfast. So hence the word block party. So that is the plan for Canada Day. So next slide. Our car shows. So we have 2 car shows that take place in July, and we're all aware of the hard work that the public works crew have done putting and rehabbing our ball diamonds. So what we have done is we have worked with the car show group, and what we would like to do is actually move the car shows back down Main Street. Again, being very cognizant of working with our businesses to ensure that we're not hampering their path, their businesses. We want to make sure it's a successful event, not only for the car show, but not hampering our local businesses. So what we're doing with the next slide, thank you, is where you see the red arrows is we are going to close Main Street from Paradise Avenue all the way down to the small traffic circle. However, we are going to leave the north and south routes, so Paradise Avenue, Shuswap Avenue, as well as Riverside Avenues open. I've designated parking areas that we will communicate out to the public beforehand. And I worked with the car show groups to insist that in order for this to work, that they actually have to provide traffic control at Paradise Avenue as well as Shuswap Avenue, so that way they can direct traffic to the local businesses. And leaving Shuswap Avenue open, it leaves the opportunity for visitors to come in and park in behind the local liquor store, Beach Chick, the IDA, so they can still access the main businesses here. And then the parking lot over at the Legion will also be another parking lot. They'll put some cars in that area, but the rest will be open for local public. So we're trying to ensure that the local businesses still get the access that they deserve. And both of these events will be held on a Saturday, or pardon me, on a Sunday. So this is what I'm proposing to council, and hoping that for your blessing that we can move forward on this from here. Our next event is Music in the Park, working with the Chamber of Commerce. We know that the beach park, with all of the limitations going to be, we're going to be moving Music in the Park to Finlayson Park, probably for the duration of the bridge construction. So we're excited for that. And Sheila tells me that Morgan and them are working on their lineup right now with the first Music in the Park series taking place on July the 7th. The next one is a brand new sort of event to the community pre-COVID. We were starting to work on a strongman competition. It was very well received within the community. It's taken a few years, but we now have a local chapter within the Okanagan who would like to branch out into the Shuswap. So as of yesterday, we've signed the last little bit of details with them, and it's called the Shuswap Showdown. And so at this point in time, we have 11 registrants already set up. Our goal for this year is to reach 30 participants to take place. We have booked the rec center as a tentative backup in case of rain, smoke, or a heat dome, because we know that happens in July, so we're making sure. And then with my meeting yesterday, with talking with Bradeen, next year we are actually looking to move this event to May. Looking at moving it indoors of the rec center. I've had that conversation with the rec center management as of now. And we would like to turn it into a 2-day event where one day would be a strongman competition, the second day being a CrossFit competition. And for next year, what will happen is we're actually going to be close to the Canadian National Championship for females. So we will have the strongest women in all of Canada coming here to compete within our community. So again, another national recognition. So we're starting to get there. Other events, as I mentioned, is we've got our ball tournaments taking place. We have the pickleball tournament taking place. So we're working with all those groups right now to make sure that the fields and the courts and everything are all taken care of, making sure all the insurances and that are looked after. And then working on to some of the other projects that I'm involved with, of course, keeping my nose to the grindstone with the interagency group, the early childhood development committees, local BCR or local BCRPA meetings. I've just started working with the BCRPA in regards to what they call IDEA workshops. And IDEA stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Equality, and Accessibility. So I've been sitting on a lot of workshops with them lately and learning how we can add accessibility to our facilities that we have here, how to reach out to newcomers to the community to make sure that they feel that they're welcome and included in our communities. Working with the Shuswap Trail Alliance working group. I sit as just a liaison for the Owl's Head Creek Hunters Range working group. I'm working on a lot of Activate Your Neighborhood community workshops right now. I've seen how we can add things like hopscotches and things like that into places just to promote that physical literacy. And then any other training sessions that apply to recreation and events, so I can always broaden my skills. And in just under a month, I'll be attending the BCRPA Symposium in Whistler, where the theme this year is Building Our Future, Inspiring to Belong and Connect. So every time I come back from those, I have 1,001 more ideas to throw at you guys. That's recreation in a nutshell. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Thank you very much, Jamie. Councillor Rich.
That's it, for the chair. Jamie, thank you, and thank you to your staff, which is one person. I know your budget is about this big, but when I look at this, like I was reading through this, I've read through this a few times, and I'm just amazed at how much you bring to our community and how much you morph. So as things change, you don't go, we're not doing that. You're like, how are we going to do it better? What are we going to do differently? So I am amazed when I read through this, what we get out of, if you look at our rec budget and what you are providing to our community, just awesome. And then the Shuswap Showdown. So I actually called James Weber this morning, he was 68, and I told him he's going to come in and kick butt. So that's Shea Weber's dad, if you don't know him. And so, yeah, I have challenged James to come in and clean house. So hopefully we get you up to 30.
We have a master's division, so he'd fit right in.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think he's going to beat the little boys. So yeah, just thank you and we appreciate you. It's incredible.
Councillor McCabe.
Yeah, thank you. That's a lot of stuff for a small town.
A lot of stuff. July, long weekend looks good. I went down and checked out one of the bands, the Banditos, so they're pretty good. I had to personally inspect them.
They were here last year.
Yeah.
Through the beach.
Through the chair, Jamie, this is just incredible. I don't know how you do this. You probably don't sleep.
Hampton.
Yes, and Campton, yes. Just amazing stuff and really, really different stuff that never used to happen, you know, like sledge hockey and backyard ultras and all that really exciting stuff. Just amazing. Thank you. You do really, really exciting work here. Thanks.
Well, the backyard ultra, Daryl and I have already had a few initial conversations with Karen and Steve. I think we're trying to see once the bridge is done, how we can bring a triathlon to the community as well. So.
Yeah, well, and I really hope the strong woman competition ends up with a locally champion.
You need to get Shelley to come.
I know, I'll be working on it.
Bushel.
Yeah, Jamie, thank you very much. This is, your guide, your events and rec guide is amazing. Thank you to you and your team, Danielle and Campton, and it's great to have, working on your summer staff. Yeah, I just want to say you did an amazing job. I've got a lot of comments from younger families that have moved here, and they're really, really happy with all the things that are going on. So thank you very much. One quick one on the car show. There's two different groups, is there?
Yes, that's correct. There's the Dawn group that does the one traditionally on the Canada Day long weekend. So it'll be Sunday, June 29th, if my memory serves me right. And then the second one is the Sick Rides car show, where Gary Worcester is kind of the head of that one there. And that one is taking place July 27th, I believe.
Yeah. Do they both have that many cars that they can't be together, or is it just two different types?
Two different groups. The show and shine, which takes place on the June weekend, they focus mostly on just antique cars, where the car show, the Sick Rides car show, they focus on a array of cars. They've got new cars, they've got old cars, they got motorcycles, things like that. So.
Okay, thank you. Good job.
Anyone else? I have a couple things, Jamie, thanks. Thank you for all you do and all your hard work. I appreciate it. And some of this may not be for you. Some of this may be for Daryl as well. So first of all, I'm wondering, have we talked to the businesses? With your plan here, have you talked to the businesses on Main Street already?
We have talked to some, Daryl Garceau and I had gone out and spoken with some of them last year prior to the Christmas.
But but
we will be going out and having conversations and sending letters to them, yes.
Yeah, I guess all I'm suggesting is before this all ends up in concrete, we should have a chat with them as well. My next question or comment is to Daryl. Daryl, when we have, and there's a lot going on, but when you have like the backyard ultra or the pump track, could we ensure that the day before we have public works out and the grass is cut and all the dandelions are gone, and just make it, just put a note out for before these events happen, that the area, because I think last year for the backyard ultra, I don't know if we got to the entire beach park. That's what it was last year, and it was just, it was a little.
April, so it was really, we were hit really
Yeah.
I
hard.
think we were just right about at the point where we're gonna start mowing and we hadn't.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if we could keep an eye on that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I guess my other point, I mean, there's a lot going on here, but check with Rob Bushell and his family. They love to, they love to referee. So reach out to him. Okay, and Jesse Scrimbit, as far as bands in the park. And the other thing is, we can do more social media. And just remind people that we are open for business. I mean, the bridge construction might make people leery about, coming to Sycamoose, but we need to pound it with that. We are open for business. We still have a bunch of fun events going on. So I think that's really key for us to do as a community, as well as each of our websites, making sure that everyone's aware, but that's it for me. Thank you. Oh, Councilor Evans, sorry.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, I just thought of a question. Jamie, where are the fireworks gonna be on July 1?
They will still be in the bay unless weather says otherwise.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, Jamie, thank you so much. Appreciate all you do. Good job. Okay. Daryl, did you want to update us on spring cleanup?
Sure. Yeah. 6C, I believe.
You're 6C.
Through the short straw following Jamie, that was,
Yeah, no kidding.
looking forward to her pal course. I might go there and make a friend if I can. Hey, so spring cleanup is underway. You've probably seen our sweeper out and about. We started with the sidewalks and the trails, got our little grass cutter with the broom on the front. So we got John Deere out there with the hog broom. There's a crew out in front with their paddle brooms, kicking everything out, and the sweepers been busy through the downtown core. And we've got all of the downtown core done, as well as Bayview now, and we're across the highway getting into the tree streets today. So way ahead of the game in terms of just historically, it's usually, I always think April 10th is about the date we like to get the contractor in to get started. He would come on a weekend, do a couple of days, and then he'd disappear for 3 weeks. He was so busy down south, and then he'd come back and finish. So we're going to keep running our little guy and making progress, and I'm hoping to get tree streets done this week. So keep going. Back at the shop, Mr. Everett's been super busy keeping that sweeper going when it comes in. And then we're converting our fleet over from the winter operations. All the sanders are coming in, plows are off. We're getting pressure washers on, tanks on. And we started to spray and power wash some of the park's furniture. So we're moving towards that. And that's a big program in itself. We'll be doing that probably for the next 3 weeks as we move towards ornamental streetlights and signage and all the furniture all over town and buildings and lots to do. Around town, we've got all our bathrooms are open, including the Quonset at this point. We are locking it at night at the moment, but we want to have it available for baseball this summer. So we've got some programmable locks on order. It's a bit of a delay getting them in, but the order's been placed and we're waiting for them to come and we'll get them installed. Pickleball nets are up. Flower beds are being prepped. You'll see Jaylene in the flower beds all over town and whatnot. Communities, we've got a cleanup scheduled for April 26th. That'll be the same weekend as the Backyard Ultra. So it's going to get busy really quickly around here. Parking. So trailer parking for boat trailers. That's been priority one for me in the last while. We want to work on Finlayson Place, trying to expand the footprint so we can maximize parking over there. Boat trailer park. So the trees are down. We've done some grinding yesterday. We've got some more grubbing on some of the green spaces. I guess good news item, we thought we'd have to do a retaining wall along the length of that property, embrace the slope. We've come up with a plan where we're gonna come back a little bit, a couple of feet. We may not need such an invasive block wall, so we still need it in the back corner, but trying to keep costs down and maximize our footprint and give trailer parking folks a place nearby the waterfront. So that's priority one. The bus bistro for car parking and across the street from there, that's right on our radar as well. So once those sites, once we get Fiddleston done and that site gets cleared, we'll be looking at the bus bistro location to get that prepped and the one across from it. And then we will be looking at Silver Sands to kind of enhance what we're offering. See if we can maybe divert some of the boat trailer parking that can't be accommodated on this end to just skip across the highway and use that green space at the end of the parking lot. So that's in the works. Our sports fields, we've been able to do the litter pickup and a little bit of tree work. The trails have been groomed. The parking lots are going to be swept as we go through there and do the roads. In terms of cutting or grooming the fields or even rolling them at this point, it's way too early. Just assessing it in a couple of days is saturated. So we're probably a couple of weeks away from been looking at being able to roll those things if we want to, let alone get on the diamonds and start grooming them. They're just mucky right now. So we will jump on it when we have a chance and the weather holds. And I mentioned the Quonset washrooms will be prepped and programmable. So yeah, just a few things going on. We'll stay at her.
Thanks, Daryl. Council questions, Councillor Bushel.
Through the chair. Yeah, great. Thanks for bringing us up to date, Daryl. Only thing we're missing is your slideshow. But yeah, no, I had a few questions. I was at the sneeze meeting last night and I was at the Finlayson place. There's that little patch of grass that's on the north end of the building there. That's really just like, I think it's maybe like a dog park. It's almost like a dog park. It's kind of useless. I mean, if you're doing all that work, would you be, inclined to even just scrape it and just even gravel it? Not, just put a little bit of gravel in there?
One tree in the corner, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that tree was missed and he's going back, he was gonna get that today.
Perfect.
The intent is to use that green space as well.
Yeah, and those other ones out front, they looked rotten that you'd already taken down as well. The ones right on Finlayson.
Yeah, they've been ground, they were ground yesterday.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, no, that's good. And that's really good that you're able to save some bucks on blocking and all that for that side. And I know those folks did call me about their place and were asking about a row of hedges or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll look at that later on once we establish what we're doing with that parking lot. For the community cleanup on the 26th, have we, I know you got a rapport with the SO. Have you kind of poked them once just to make them do their ditch cleanup, if you don't mind? Pretty disgusting. And I did do a walk out there the other day and it is pretty rough. And then, yeah, no, other than that, that's great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the update.
Councillor Rich.
Through the chair, Daryl, thank you. And thank you for hearing the voices about the ballpark. And I know it had fallen off the radar and you didn't have budgets and stuff. Seeing the bathrooms going and the ballparks going, like, super appreciated, super appreciated. It's huge. And we've got 3 more teams, like the minor league teams coming in this year. So our ball just keeps growing and just a huge shout out to all those parents that show up. But again, you're making it happen and we appreciate that. Community garden, I'm not sure if there's an update there.
Not a lot to update other than we're planning on running it again. So we'll get some advertising out and get it prepped and same location, do the same deal.
Yeah, so maybe Campton can let people,
Just want to say through the chair, we have some communications going out about registering for the community
Yeah.
garden right now. And I've connected with Deb and the latest that I heard, that those plots get set up right around the time of the community cleanup, which is the 26th of April. So we're collecting names for those plots, and then we'll make the signage to put in the plots. It's kind of underway, and we've got things out on our website and social media letting people know that there are plots to register for.
And that's awesome. And I don't know if Campton or Daryl knows where Daisy is, but it would be great to get a picture of her and say she's still with us, and we're just looking for her home, but she's not missing in action. Today I was driving by and I'm like, kind of miss Daisy. So I don't know if that's possible, and I'm not sure where she's sitting right now, but
Yesterday.
did you? Okay. But
The bear.
our bear. So it'd be awesome if Campton maybe went out and just did a photo shoot with her. I don't think she moves much, but she's still with us.
Yeah, we'll see what state she's in, show her off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else? Okay, Daryl, thank you so much. Like I said, you've motivated me to get my windows washed, except you've done this so quick this year that it's too cold to wash my windows yet. And I was just waiting for a couple rains, but I love that little street sweeper all over town. It's a huge benefit for our community, and it was cost effective, and it's paid for itself several times already, I'm quite sure. Just a reminder, don't forget to, when you got that pressure washer on the back of the truck, please remember to do those entrance signs, the 3 of them. Those are pretty important, and it's that time where they need to be nice and shiny as well. The other thing I was thinking is, as we're planning out our parking, our trailer parking and our car parking, and I'm sure, Campton, you've got a plan for some signs and direction, wayfind signs, and where to go, where to park, because this could turn into a bit of confusion if we're not ready and prepared, and make sure it lands on the website. And yeah, we've also got businesses in town that charge for parking that people can park at as well. So make sure that we're marked well there. And I'm glad to hear that there is a bit of a plan for Finlayson Place, a hedge. I was at Sneeze last night too, and we can look at something after we've got that all established. But you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. All right, moving right along. We are at Mayor and Council reports. Councillor Evans.
Thank you. I don't have much to report. I had some time off and got to take our student who's living with us from Spain to explore a little bit of Western Canada. So that was great. She wanted to see the sights. And this morning I had a good time with Councillor Rich interviewing some of our grads. And looking forward to going to Silga with council and library regional district meeting coming up.
Perfect. Thank you. Councillor Rich.
I got to spend an afternoon with the splat scene, which was great. Spent the morning today with capstone, which our grads have to do to complete their graduation, actually. So they have to do where I began, where I finished, and where I'm going. And Bob and I got to sit in on that, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, lucky there. And then shout out to Sidley Kylo, who is at 10 years old, is a BC champion for vaulting. She's #1 in BC. So this little kid has worked her buns off, and she's winning. And we have to be appreciative of that. And then I also spent 4 days down in Kamloops with our 4-H out of Sycamoose, and we had 10 kids and 15 animals. We had over 300 animals in the barn. Huge show, people coming out from California, Alberta, everywhere. And our kids placed every time they were in that ring. So again, we had 10 kids out of Sycamoose, Malakwa, Cambie, and we're placing, we rock. So just amazing. Our little community is fantastic.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. Awesome. Thank you. Councillor Bushel.
Through the chair, it was kind of a quiet couple of weeks, attended the C2C splat scene meeting, an interview on Monday. So that was a very interesting meeting we had with them. Just to remind everybody about the community cleanup, need some volunteers. And that's on April 26th, and we meet at 8 AM at the rec, or the curling rink.
Excellent, thank you. Counselor Beach.
Yeah, I also really thought the council meeting with Swatching was great, was productive and touched on some really pertinent issues. All I have to add though is that I want to at this time just say that I've been looking and re-looking as I've been driving to Kelowna on a regular basis, at least once a week for a while. I've been looking at sharp corner markings and on 97 highway and all the way down. And I honestly want to ask that this council brings back the consideration of Capel and 97 intersection and that sharp corner, because we are missing just basic signage warning people about that intersection. And the more I've been driving, the more it's been driving me nuts that we have none of the signage that everybody else has on that corner. And I'm really worried that we're going to end up with a fatality there. So that's my big ask, is that we bring this back to the next meeting. Oh, except I won't be here. I'll be on Zoom. I'll be here on Zoom. But I want a letter. We've had a verbal discussion. I think Daryl Garceau did with MOTI, and they said there's no issues there, no issues at all. And I say there is, and we need it in writing. So that's my big passion today. Sorry.
Counselor McCabe.
Yeah, I also attended the council to council with Splats, and I just want to go over a couple highlights of our Splatsa meeting. We talked about our protocol agreement. We talked about the rescue boathouse, and our mayor took a strong stance of where it is and why we put it there. Represent safety in our community. The cumulative effect study and notation interest, the rail trail. The big snag in rail trail is the agricultural land commission and the farmers in the Armstrong area. They're arguing about a section in there. The pedestrian bridge, Splatson has agreed to give us a support letter specific for getting funding for the design of the pedestrian bridge at the end of Main Street. Regional community forest, that was dead a couple of years ago, and that's back on the drawing board now. So there's a possibility of pursuing that. We'll give them an update on our Sycamoose Health Center and talked about aquatic invasive species. But
Thank you. Just to touch on that point of council to council and the rail trail, the longer the delays on the rail trail, the higher the cost. So the sooner we get this all resolved and get the rail trail getting everyone working on the rail trail, focused on the rail trail, once it'll be complete and we can start using. So the sooner the better. I have been, let's see what I've done in the last couple of weeks. I've been to the CSRD meeting, nothing critical there. I've attended sneeze last night, C2C. I've also had a meeting with PCN, looking at our healthcare center, that we have a shell in there, and we would love to put a lab in there. So trying to get support for a lab, and tomorrow Life Lab is coming in, and I'm doing a tour with Karen with them, and hopefully we'll keep pushing at this, because it's imperative and it's important for our community that we do have that support in that building. So also to Gord, you mentioned it a bit, our meeting last fall at UBCM with the Solicitor General. And just this week, I received a letter, so we're trying to set up an appointment so that we can have that conversation with the BC Services Delivery Unit. And I think that's about it. There's probably been a couple more calls and meetings in there that I'm dropping, but that's it in a nutshell from me. Anyone in the gallery have any questions? Feel free, up to the podium, please.
My name's Rick Hodson. I've been a resident of Sycamore for 5 years now. I've enjoyed it. This is the 25th town I've lived in Canada. I'm a nomad, but I blame my father. He was armed forces. I went through 8 different towns, and the last place I was living in with my family was a motel room. So anyways, it's not his fault. Having said that, I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to inflict the rest of my days on you folks. And I'm going to enjoy it. I have been involved with Sycamoose to some degree in my last 5 years. For example, for Legion, I did the letters about the bar. For example, last year, just to keep out of trouble, I produced a series of key tags, riddles, Sycamoose riddles, things like I wiggled my way through Sycamoose.
Wigglesworth. Two seconds, the channel.
Dog park.
Eagle River.
I wiggled my way through Sycamoose.
Through Sycamoose.
I wiggled my way through Sycamoose.
Caboose.
It goes.
Wiggled your way through the Sycamoose, you went to the caboose.
The rock snake.
No,
Pebbles? The rock snake?
Eagle River.
Eagle River. You ever look at it?
Okay, that was
If
a
you
tough
want
one.
to see the Eagle River, go over to the museum. I helped design those signboards or those display boards over there, and you'll see the Eagle River. I took that. I think I stole it off their website, and put it up there as part of the design for those designs. So I've done a few things around town, managed to keep myself out of trouble to some degree. For the fire departments, when they had the commemorations for number of years and retirements, those plaques, I produced those. Life became full, I got a 3D printer. If you go to the thrift store, those name tags, I've done about 40 of those for those folks there. At Christmas, I took, well, I think I had about 15 different designs of Christmas buddies that I took to the senior center and there. Anyways, what I'm saying is I've been here 5 years. I've been hiding in the background, but I've been here and participating. The reason I'm here today is to sort of reinforce what this lady was talking about with respect to the changes in our town after our beacon of responsible journalism opened their mouths and told everybody that there's no police protection at night. I live on one of the 3 residents on Paradise Avenue. The 3 of us. Mind you, my address is number 22469 Main Street, which confuses everybody, but I live on the house. It's a senior's paradise. We sit in our window and watch people go by. That's what we seniors do. I see endless numbers of dogs being walked down that street. I see classes from the school heading to the library. Best ones are the preschoolers, all in their little vests. Now, I'm speaking from experience here. I spent 20 years in education and I took kids on trips. I know what it's like. When you take kids on trips, one of the things you first do is pray that they're not going to step out of line. You pray that they're not going to run off somewhere. On Paradise Avenue, you pray even harder. Because those kids are walking on the street. Oh, there's a line there that says that that's for walking on, but there's only a line. That's all there is. That's all there is. No sidewalk that tells those kids where they should be walking. No sidewalk for people from tree streets or further down on that other pathway to walk their dogs. They're working on that street. And it wasn't a big deal when I first got here until that local beacon responsible journalism announced that there's no police protection. The speed on that street has increased drastically. We observe cars coming off of Main Street and accelerating to 60 kilometers an hour by the time they get to the ambulance station. That's not just at night. I don't know about you, but I've observed that the traffic speed in town is increased 24/7 as opposed to just when they're not available. But on Paradise, and speaking again as a teacher who took kids on trips, it's nerve-wracking to be an observer. I don't know what it's like to be a teacher or primary school teacher, to be walking along that road with the traffic screaming past like it does. But I would suggest we do something about it. I really don't want to be sitting at my window and watching a body flying through the air. And I suppose I'm sounding rather dramatic here, but the reality is some of that traffic and some of those trucks that come off of Main Street, as they say, they're doing 60, sometimes 70 kilometers an hour by the time they hit the ambulance station. Surprisingly enough, it's not that fast going the other way, but certainly off of Main Street it is. Anyway, I'm sort of reinforcing what she's saying with respect to what's happened since that's been announced, okay? So my suggestion to begin with, beyond the enforcement, is if you're going to put sidewalks in anywhere, put some on Paradise, that short distance where those walks come in from across the highway and from down, as they say, seniors walking dogs, scooters with seniors. Scooters, I mean, you got the whole range coming there. And it's major. I don't know of any, I mean, I haven't been around town, but I'd be hard pressed to find another walking area as busy as that. Because of the catchment area across the highway with the schools, with the preschool and all the seniors. Anyways, I've made my pitch. Thank you for your time. Now I can go home with my conscience feeling good.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for your feedback. I appreciate it.
Any questions? No.
No, thank you. Councillor Beach.
Through the chair, I just want to acknowledge, thank you very much for all of those designs that you created, and the seniors enjoyed them. They got quite a chuckle out of the Star Wars crew, and they had a very.
Star Wars ones were.
Yes, I know you said that. They had a very prominent place through Christmas. So
do it for slants and they get lots.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Councillor McCabe.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the letter about the policing. It seemed like a self-defeating, sending an open letter stating exactly when the police aren't in town.
I know. I don't know why we do. Anyway, yeah. Okay, thank you. Anyway, anyone online? Okay, recommendation that the committee of the whole be adjourned, April 9th at 2:38. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Beach, Councillor Evans, all in favor, and we are done count.
Coffee.
Right?
Coffee.